This is Abbie Chatfield.
Stop lying about my character and my intentions. I get it enough from
Australia's most hated woman. She may very well be, in fact, Australia's most hated person. She always has something to say, and her opinions continuously are absolutely awful. There is so much that I could say about Abbie Chatfield. I could literally make a video that's 2.5 hours long, and you know what? I may just do that. Let me know in the comments section if you want to see a full breakdown of her, breakdowns. Her social media is an absolute trip. If you don't know anything about her, she spends her time fighting with randoms on the internet. She will pick fights with just your average Joe or Josie or Jose down the street. She will sick her entire audience, whether it's deliberately or not, I'm not quite sure, but after just random people. If somebody disagrees with her in the comment section, I've seen women, right? She bullies women. This is absolutely insane. She's all about, female empowerment, but really if someone disagrees with her who happens to be a female, then all of her fans, and once again, I don't know if she's doing it deliberately or not, but all of her fans will come in and just destroy this person. She'll go out of her way to put this entire person's face on her giant Instagram, and people will just attack her. Like these sick, mentally ill fans of her will go after these people for just politely disagreeing. And it's usually women. So yeah, Abbie loves women and wants to support women unless those women disagree slightly with her. And now she's getting sued. That's right, she is before the courts. She's been served with papers and there is a defamation suit currently against her. Now, she is very much the left-wing version of Milo Yiannopoulos or Andrew Tate for women. She's a hard-lined ideologue where she only thinks that the way that she thinks is the correct way to think. And that's a really interesting way to live your life. To not have the ability to think outside of your own little algorithm or box is probably a negative way to live your life, but that's how Chatfield does it. She says outrageous things to get clicks, and I understand why she does that. She makes a lot of money doing that. Shit like this.
I love abortion. And I did a video today where the sound said, I love abortion. And people in the comments were a little bit upset, saying that I shouldn't say that I love abortion. I should say that I tolerate abortion, or that I support someone's choice to have an abortion. But the reality is I love abortion.
Yeah, I love abortion. How good, Chatfield. Now, she goes on to explain why she loves abortion. She loves that it's available for people and all those type of things. But when you go out and you make a video that I love abortions, it's just, it's not a great way to start a conversation about the importance of having medical care available for people. Do you love all abortions, Abbie? What if it's a late-term abortion? What if I'm pregnant? I'm a man, I can get pregnant. It's 2025. What if I have a baby and I decide to abort it the day before it's supposed to be born? Do you love those abortions? But you know what, Abbie, if you're watching, I'm sure you're watching, I think you could go to the dark side. I think as you get older, you're 30 now, I think you could probably move over a little bit more right on the political spectrum. Right now, you're far left and, it's all about all those fucking hilarious ideas. But I reckon with a little bit of help, you might be able to find the light and find yourself in the middle, taking the best from both worlds. You don't want to be too far right or too far left, because when you do that, you're just a dickhead. Also, Chatfield, hey, I think we should sit down, not a debate. I just think people get the wrong idea of you and me. So maybe our ideas possibly are closer to each other's than you would imagine. So I think a podcast or a conversation would be really, really interesting. Anyway, why is Chatfield being sued? Well, it's a defamation suit, which means that basically she has said something allegedly that has defamed another person or caused that person to lose money or lose opportunities in life. And it was untrue, the things she said, allegedly. And all of these allegations of defamation come from a, quote, former male best friend, which I don't know what that means, why it's in quotes, sounds sus. Anyway, it's just a strange way to fucking phrase anything. So Abbie's a beloved person by a lot of people. Let's have a look at the comment section to see what people think about her getting sued. I'm sure people are very sad, very upset. Let's find out, shall we? And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I am doing a show in Port Macquarie on the 13th of November. Get your tickets right now at isaacbutterfield.com. Okay. Ha ha ha. Yes, some karma for her. That woman's always been crazy, but this is a new level now. Finally, some good news. Star is an extremely low bow to draw. If she disappeared when anybody noticed, fingers crossed he wins. What for? The rash she left him with? Is there a GoFundMe page to help this fella out? Good luck to him. Okay, so people aren't overly stoked with old Chatfield. And that's probably because of all the things that she has said in the past. She made Charlie Kirk's death all about her, which was an interesting way to live your life. And every time that she seems to say something that's just completely people come for her, they say that's ridiculous, that's silly, and then she claims that she's having a breakdown, allegedly. Weird way to live your life, Abbie. Maybe just, maybe social media's not for you. Okay, so it turns out a lot of people are quite pleased that she's being sued, and now I will finally tell you why Chatfield is being sued. But first, this.
Okay, I'm about to go to sleep, and I'm checking my TikTok. Where's the protest? Stand the fuck up. Do you understand that last night, the oligarch that was in charge of your government, he actually admitted to rigging the election? In a way. Obviously not explicitly, but he did say that without his help, the outcome would have been different. So maybe...
What the fuck is this? This woman has influence over hundreds of thousands of young women in Australia. That's horrific. Anyway, on to the fucking reason I made this video. Abbie Chatfield is being sued by her former male best friend. Former Bachelor star, let's remember how she got fucking famous in the first place. Abbie Chatfield is being sued for defamation with a lawsuit filed by her former best male friend, Heath Keeley. The official Federal Court of New South Wales records seen by news.com.au showed the case titled Heath Keeley vs Abbie Chatfield was filed September 8th and remains ongoing as of this week. The specifics of the claims brought against the 30-year-old former Bachelor star have not yet been publicly disclosed in the file. However, according to the Daily Mail, the lawsuit relates to an Instagram post by Chatfield in which she criticised Keeley's purported support of Israel. Now, the Daily Mail, they love Chatfield. They follow her around. And as much as I disagree with Abbie on most things, it is creepy how much they follow her around. And yeah, as much as I disagree with a lot of things that she actually does and says and all that type of stuff, I think deep down, probably not as bad of a person as we think. But I think that's what social media tends to do. It turns people into these sort of caricatures of themselves. And maybe that's what we're seeing with Chatfield. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not too sure. Chatfield being sued for defamation by her one-time male best friend over Instagram story published to her 600,000 Instagram followers. 6 years ago, Keeley and Chatfield found themselves at the center of a romance rumors. The pair was seen dancing together in a raunchy online video where Chatfield grinded up against Kelly and said, "I love this song and I love this man." How good. Chatfield had recently become a celebrity by starring on Channel 10's The Bachelor, was quick to publicly deny they were an item, describing Kelly as a male best friend of 10 years. Okay, so that's why they keep calling it male best friend. Just friends. However, in May of this year, Chatfield is believed to have posted an Instagram story containing allegedly defamatory remarks about Mr. Keeley, a former Virgin Australia guest service officer. Who gives a shit? Who cares? What Chatfield precisely said in the post, which expired after 24 hours, is yet to be revealed in court. Wow. Now, here it says again that no one knows what was actually said in those that particular Instagram story. It does go on to say that Chatfield recently drew criticism for outspoken left-wing political views and the incendiary social media posts, including remarks about abortion and the death of Charlie Kirk. Showing off an outfit last weekend, Chatfield posted a video with a soundtrack which said, "I love abortions, trans people, migrants and birth control, and immigrants and gay people and having fun and just being a nice overall good person," which is actually the name of my show next year. So come along and see me live. So this is from Daily Mail a day later, I believe. It's understood that Keeley, a law student and former Virgin Australia guest, who cares, had privately messaged Chatfield in May to say that he was pro-Israel because of its support of gay people and women's rights. I think Palestinians also support gay people. That statement was what allegedly promoted her to shame Kelly, who is no celebrity in the most public of ways. So she must have screenshotted, I guess, and posted maybe. That's what I would assume has happened here. Now, I don't know exactly what Chatfield said, but if it's defamatory, then maybe it's got something to do with the words that people throw around when you don't publicly come out and support one side or the other in the war in Gaza. And people throw around big words and scary words. And this is the thing when you throw around those type of words. If you say something about someone just because they, if they say, oh, I like the way that Israel does this or Israel does that, or I like the way that Gaza does this or Gaza does that, or the Palestinians do this rather. If you label someone as something horrible because of that, then that's not really cool, is it? It's not very fair to do that to someone. And it's the same when you label someone, and I'm not saying Chatfield did this, but when you label someone as a racist or a bigot or a transphobe, when you use these really incendiary words, they actually do have a real world effects. They affect how people can make money, and that is the crux of defamation. The reason that people get sued for defamation and the reason that people are awarded monetary value in those cases is because we are talking about the amount of money that was potentially lost. I can't just go up to some random person who works at Target and say, well, you're a racist, transphobe, homophobe, etc. And then you go, I'm going to sue you for defamation. I'm going to sue you for $10 billion. That's not how it works. You weren't going to make that money at Target. You might be able to sue me for a little bit, but not for $10 billion, right? Point being, you're suing someone for the amount of money that you could have potentially made. Now, you cannot make because of those remarks, maybe some damages as well. That's the understanding I have on defamation cases. They're very hard to prove. The law in Australia is very, very difficult to sort of take through the courts and win. So I don't know if this guy will actually come out on top here, but it will be a very interesting test case because if Abbie had used the words that I imagine she may have used in this particular post, and we'll follow this story, then a lot of people could potentially sue other people. It might set some interesting precedent, and the case law that may come from it could have bearing on a lot of people's lives. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about this video. And before I go, I would like to show you Abbie Chatfield's reaction to being sued. It's this interpretive dance, and that's how I'll leave this video. Her interpretive dance. Be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Be extinct. Toodaloo au revoir. Bye bye.